Hey everybody, welcome to the May of 2020 Patreon Q&A. Sorry this is a little bit later than we were expecting to be doing it. Obviously the build series is keeping me very, very busy. We're just going to get on with this because I've got a lot of questions to get through, so I want to try and do these speedily. Tommy Kearney, hey man, how did you first get into motorbikes and what would you say your most important tip to give a beginner rider on CBT is? James the Garden Snake is actually, James the Naked Snake has replied and just basically said, pretty sure those answers are out there. They are out there a million times over. It's the same question I always get asked. Yeah, I think I got a video called The Bug, which will tell you about how I got into like riding bikes to start with, and then watch my CBT video for people doing a CBT. There isn't one thing you need to do because, yeah, sure, you get one thing right, you'll fail something else. So you need to listen to all. The one tip is to watch my playlist. Yes. There you go. My Tips for New Riders playlist that will take you through the whole process.
Matthew Varco says, hi Spicy and Reno, if you both was just starting your motorbiking life, would you change what bike you started with? And if so, what bike would you start with?
Nope.
Don't think so. I mean, maybe I would have had a second-hand bike and not bought a brand new one, but then I didn't know anything about bikes at the time, so it was better for me to buy a new one.
But no. I made the right decision. Valesta, would you and Reno ever do a dual vlog together? I think it would be awesome to see. As we've answered this one a million times over, we have done a dual vlog together. We just don't get to ride together very often. Obviously, at the moment, Reno's on shielding, so she can't. Should I also mention that I invented dual vlogs? Me and Jake invented dual vlogs because everyone forgets that as well. Daniel Boddington. Hey, Spicy and Reno, hope you're all okay. Got a nice question for you. Which bike would you have out of these? Yamaha MT-07, Suzuki GSX 750, MT-09, best, all the best to both of you. If you want something that's leery and grunty, go for the MT. If you want something that's a little bit, well, it's more, maybe, I don't know, it's smoother, but not quite so grunty, but it has got lots of torque still, then the Suzuki. The MT-09, it's too close to 1,000 for me.
I'd probably go with the GSX. Juji Gatame says, what are your opinions on commuting via a road on a CBT, riding an old 15 brake horsepower Yami R125 as opposed to doing DAS as soon as possible and getting on a bigger bike and going on the motorway? Is it dangerous if you just sit in the left lane and mind your own business? I noticed in the GSXR 125 video you had a tiny bit of excess power to enable you to overtake a lorry while your speedo malfunctioned.
I'd say 125s are better suited for A roads than the motorways if you're doing this every day, you know, day in, day out. Yes, you can sit in the left-hand lane, but if you're on a smaller CC bike and you can't, you know, do those extra speeds, people tend to sit up your butt. It's the same with my DRZ. I can only do about 65, 70 on that. But yeah, it makes it pretty uncomfortable at times because the reality is most roads, depending on what you are motorway-wise, is 80 mile an hour in the left-hand lane, anything up to a ton in the right-hand lane. There's been times that I've been sat doing 85 mile an hour in the left lane and had a car pushing me. And you're just like, what? Why? Overtake.
Yeah.
It's not suited so much to sitting in one gear flat out for mile after mile after mile, day after day after day, opposed to occasionally. May Crutch, hey Spicy and Reno, hope you're all well. What is the nicest thing you've done for each other since you went into lockdown? I continue to be stunned by your awesomeness. You're a brilliant pair, cheese out.
We're always nice to each other.
I'm always doing things like making sure you have treats, because she's obviously stuck at home.
Yes.
And yeah, hard to put a finger on a thing, just generally making you laugh, jumping in the pool.
Oh,
the freezing pool.
Roboninja 300 says, hey Spicy and hey Reno, I hope you're both doing okay. Love the series on Derek, it's so interesting to watch. My question is, so you're doing all the work on Derek, would you consider doing something similar to DIVI, or would that be a bit too much work because of DIVI being a faired bike?
Yeah, exactly that. Underneath the fairings, it's not going to be hugely more complicated, but getting those fairings off and everything that's to get to those does make it a big pain in the butt. However, there are a couple of jobs that need to be done on DIVI eventually, and it's kind of like, well, I don't think I'd go down to the frame and repaint the frame because there's no need for that. I wouldn't have taken Derek to pieces the way I did if it wasn't a need for it. But there are some jobs I would do to it. So there may be a secondary series after the DRZ's done to sort DIVI out. Maybe. If I get enough people on Patreon in the future, I might consider getting like a little 125 and something and doing a build project on it. You know, like a green lining bike. But that's very much when and if and depending on the future. We'll see. Ivor George, how worried are you that you won't put Humpty Dumpty back together again? No, I know what you're saying, but not at all. If it was the XJ6, I think I'd be a little bit more lost. But my speciality where it would be supermoto bikes of that sort of style. They generally, you know, the wiring loom goes through the same way. The engines are generally very similar. That just everything's kind of very similar. So it's a very good bike to be the first one that I've stripped down to nothing to build back up. Plus, I have all the video of me taking it apart.
James the Naked Snake asks, what is a question you are surprised no one has asked yet? Plus the answer to said question. Also, is there a question you wish someone would ask? And the answer to this too.
I think I've been asked so many questions by this point. I can't think of a single question that someone hasn't asked me.
What's your favourite flavour of clam?
Manila. It's a good question, but I can't think of an answer on the spot to that because it's just, as I say, I feel like I've been asked everything. Billy H, would you still like to be a motorcycle instructor and have you considered doing the training to become one? The reason I ask is a girl who I work with was worried about her CBT, so I told her about your playlist and she said that it helped her massively. Oh. I have considered it, but maybe that's a possibility if everything goes wrong on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know if I've got the patience to do it. I also don't... I might be able to teach people how to ride basically, like the basic stuff. I don't know if I would consider myself a good enough rider or a proper enough rider, technique-wise, to be training other people. And I know lots of people might say, oh, no, you'll be fine, blah, blah. I don't know if that's something I want to do, honestly. I think my skills are much better suited to marketing, filming, video production, this sort of stuff. Like, if I can get a job doing this for a company, I could get paid, like, you know, probably 10 times what I do now. Because I'm just doing it for them rather than for myself.
Alan Waters asks, asking for a friend as you and Reno seem to be dogging experts, having whilst met dogging, which breed of dog is the best for locating a new partner?
We did not meet dogging.
I think it's because where we met is
on
like
Portsdown Hills, known as a dog. Not
place.
During the day.
But not the part that we met.
Yeah, well,
it's a different part.
No, they do. There has been some stuff going on in that car park, but it's very late at night, and it was also when the burger van used to close more. Oh. But now they moved it into one of the other ones nearby. But pretty much all the car parks around here, you just not from personal experience. And what sort of dog? I don't know, a small one. A small one.
Any dog, because if you go for a walk...
No, a very fluffy dog.
Yes.
Because you can help clean up all the mess. It's like a mop. Bruce Groom, hi Spicy, just wondering if you have a bottle of something special lined up for when you hit the 100k subscribers. I'm sure I'll celebrate with a rum or two, but no, I've got nothing special lined up. But then again, it's like... It's a long way away.
Where are you at now?
80,000 subscribers, but it's still predicted to be over a year before I get there. So it's kind of like...
Well, you never know.
All I can say is it's if you want to have a look at if you search Spice 110 Social Blade for future projections, you'll see the date there, and that date changes depending on how much people like videos and help share videos and stuff like that. It could be tomorrow, if people remember to click a button regularly. But I'm afraid the reality is people do not remember to hit the like button. I kind of, in a way, am starting to question if the YouTube system, the like system, is not the best way of doing it anymore. Because, you know, on a lot of platforms and stuff, you can't really, it's not easy to like things. People don't remember to like things. No. And maybe younger generations are more programmed to remember to hit the button, whereas in older generations aren't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Vital Sam, no luck catching them killers then. I know I've already said to him, huh? And then 4658 said it's just the one killer actually.
What?
Vital Sam again, have you watched Hot Fuzz because you don't seem to get any of the quotes? I asked in the Q&A, is it true that you shoot a man's head off, it will blow up? And Urina just answered the question, it made me laugh. Oh, I don't remember that as a quote from Hot Fuzz.
I don't remember what I did 3 days ago half
Yeah,
the time.
no. No, I know the question you're talking about. I didn't get that reference. No, I have seen Hot Fuzz. I've seen all of the Cornetto series because I used to watch Spaced when it was first on TV.
And then
like
you
years and years and years and years ago, before anyone even knew all these people were. So yeah, I've seen them. Don't remember that quote from it. But then to be fair, this might be slightly controversial. They are funny, but I didn't find the style of humour in them nearly as funny as Spaced because it was too British film.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Hugh Grant wasn't in it, kind of thing.
Oh God.
It was definitely made for an American audience.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. That's something I didn't quite like about those films.
Sponding D says, hi Reno and Spicy. I thought I'd give Reno top billing. Hope you both are well. Spicy, would you like to ride Jake's MT-07 adventure bike? It looks like a right beast. Reno, how about getting a sidecar to put Spicy in, as there's no chance of him being your pillion on the buses, anyone?
Of course I'd
you
like
wouldn't even fit in a sidecar either, would you?
I could probably fit in a
sidecar. You'd be like this, your knees would be like...
Probably, it would be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Of course I'd like to try Jake's bike out. It's a unique bike. I would I want to try any bike I've not ridden. If anyone wants to, would you like to try riding this? It's like, is it a bike? Yes. Have I ridden it before? No. Well, then I'm going to want to ride it. I don't care if I absolutely detest it. I'll ride it for 10 minutes and go, yep, I really hate that thing. Mephisto? I still question when I'm getting it right.
Every time.
I don't know. I don't know. He's probably given up at this point. Hey Spicy and Reen. By the time you're answering Tiz, Project Z might be done. But no, anything you might want to do on your deals in the future that you couldn't do now, other than the carb. It is still a frame which is waiting to be built on, but I'm in the very last few jobs before I can actually start putting it together. I just spent a long time cleaning the engine with a wooden stick and then realised, why aren't I using the steam cleaner I have? This would be 10 times easier, which is what I'm going to start doing tomorrow. But at the moment, I don't know because it's not done. But I'm doing pretty much everything I'd like to do so far.
Andrew Spears says, hi Reno and Spicy, hope all are well. I'm not sure if this has been covered before. Could you explain, mainly for new riders, the difference between filtering and overtaking, or overtaking badly? May I paraphrase the think bike, think biker slogan to a biker? Think before you bike, because bikers are responsible for their own safety too, and especially if the lockdown is lifted soon.
It's a grey area. I've done a video on filtering called... Was it called Should New Riders Filter? Did that ever go live? I think it did. Or maybe it didn't.
I don't know.
I can't remember. I think it may or may not have done. Basically, there is the right way, the wrong way, and a grey area in between. It's a difficult one to broach because everyone's got slightly different rules on it, and it tends to be filtering's fine unless you're doing something clearly illegal. And then filtering's fine unless you have an accident.
Yeah.
And then the questions start getting asked. But it is defensible in court if you were doing it the right way, sensibly, and the car didn't do its due diligence to make sure that you weren't there and pulled into you, then they would be at fault. And there is case history to support that at this point. Basically, no, it's a really difficult question. David Govok, hi both. Spicy, would you be interested in test riding and doing a video on a 2003 Triumph TT600 in the future, providing I don't sell it or exchanging it anytime soon? As with every bike that anyone offers me to ride, as of quite a long time ago, I say no, just as a flat no, because I'm not insured beyond third party. So if I crash your bike, I'm responsible for it. If I had money in the bank to pay for it, yes, I would probably do it. But I never really feel like I can ride the bike and experience it as I'd want to, knowing that if I crash it, I'm paying for it. And even if the person says, look, I'm a millionaire, it doesn't matter, I'm still not going to want to crash someone else's bike. So I'd rather take a demo bike out that, yeah, if I do crash it, no one's going to be upset, apart from me having to pay the massive excess, but no one's going to be like, oh, my bike.
Yeah.
It's at that point, it's the unloved. Like Divi was the unloved.
But now she is loved. Edward Perkis says, hello Reno and Spicy. I hope you both are safe and well. My question, do you think you will still be going to the Festival of Speed if it happens? If not, what about next year? And if you did go, would you have a mini meet or any subscribers going as well? Stay safe.
I don't think the Festival of Speed's going to be happening this year. I doubt it'll happen next year.
No.
I basically wait until when it's on, then I'll decide when I'm going. But the plan was to go, and the plan was that when we were there, is to say, I don't know, meet at 1 o'clock at a easily findable location, and like we'll be there for an hour, and then we'll go off and continue looking around the place, or leave, depending on what we're doing. Or probably continue looking around the place for a bit. But that's the general plan. But public events, like people ask me about my meet, and I'm like, I don't know. Wolfie Picks, hey, Mr. Reno and Miss Spicy. Hover bike, lol. I hope you're okay. Question 1. What do you think is the best time to go for a ride on a bike? As in best for everyone.
Hey?
When's the best time to go for a ride on a bike?
As in time of year or time of day?
Let's go with year.
I would say...
Spring.
Spring.
Or autumn.
Yeah.
Not summer. It's like the beginning of spring, the end of autumn, as it's cooling down a bit. Well, no, the start of autumn maybe, when it's all pretty but you've still got warmth. Time of day... I prefer going for evening rides.
Yeah, especially in the summer. Because
it's really pretty and quiet and cool.
Nice.
When everyone's gone off the island.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to quick fire these. Question 2, because this is all from Wolfie.
Can we have a full tour of your home setup? It's the same as before. Maybe in the future, but it's not that interesting. And also it will trigger people because I have 3 screens and they are all different sizes and one of them's a different aspect ratio. And someone who did see this, like Jess, I was talking to Jess about this because she's she's the admin of the Discord, and she was like, I said, did you notice I was in different size screens? She was like, I wasn't going to mention it, it was killing me inside. Question 3, is there a limit to the amount of questions we can ask?
Oh god, here we go.
We'll find out. Presuming that was as many as you want, I'll ask question 4. Reno, did you enjoy the time off work on lockdown, and did you get bored quickly?
Yes and yes, I think.
But you're still on lockdown.
On lockdown, but I'm working.
They asked at the point that people were like, we couldn't conceivably still be in lockdown 4 weeks from now. Question 5. The question is going to be asked, and was asked in the April Q&A. What was I going to ask? I have no idea. Is there going to be a Spicy Fest next year again? Don't know. I was going to ask you more questions. I was going to ask you any, and I already said it.
There you go. There was a limit. I'm not reading anymore. Edward Perkis, don't expect you will put this in, but anyway, old man Billy had a 10-foot willy, and he showed it to the lady next door. He thought it was a snake, so hit it with a rake, and now it's only 5'4".
I've heard that before. The bin asks, hey Spicy and Reno, hope you're both doing well. If I watch one of your videos in Patreon, does it count as a watch on YouTube? Also, do you know how to change your name on Patreon, or am I stuck with this ridiculous name, lol? I like the bin.
Right, the way it works is I upload a video to YouTube unlisted. So it's on YouTube, it's the same video everyone's going to see eventually, but it's just the only way you can view it is by being given the link. So what happens is I upload them and release them to give you the link on Patreon unlisted with all the monetization and all that switched off. And then all I do is then add in the tags and stuff so it can be searchable, make it monetized and make it public, and that's when it appears to YouTube to everyone. So, yes, it counts, but it doesn't count as it counts as a view, counts as a comment, counts as a like, doesn't count as a monetary ad because you're a patron, and by supporting this channel you don't have to watch the ads. That's one of the benefits. As for changing your name, yes, you can definitely change your name. I'm not entirely sure how, probably settings of some sort. Lee Jones, political theory, we'll see about this. If there was if there was a one world government, would you support it? I plan to take over and rule with no more war, no more poverty, no more sickness, equity and no more greed. Money wouldn't be necessary as we would all work for ourselves as you do. No need to worry about who will do crappy jobs. We'll have automation with only mechanical engineers needing to keep them working. Entertainment will be part of society, and all arts, musical actors, creative, they enjoy what they do. It's a nice ideal. It sounds a little bit like communism. And the reality is, no, that will never work.
Unfortunately not.
No. I'm afraid I was a bit of a misanthrope before the pandemic. I thought the one thing I was holding on to, the hope, was humans will, at the end of the day, do what they need to do when they need to do it, right? No.
No.
No. And I'm not even talking about the recent political stuff. I'm not even going to pass comment on that.
Just people.
I'm just going to say I understand a lot of what's being said from many different sides, and I'm certainly not someone to be passing any comment on it. I'm just reading what I can and learning what I can and just absorbing it all in, and that's all I'm really going to say about it. Pre that, people going to the beach when they weren't supposed to.
Mayfesto says, if being human wouldn't be possible, which British animal would you be? And which worldwide animal?
British animal.
Yes.
Weasel.
Yes, they are
small,
cute.
fast, you run around, you can attack things, you kill mice almost half your body size. You are like a little monster.
You're like a little worm.
And all humans would love you because you are so cute.
And what worldwide animal?
I was going to say a blue whale because I could like chill out going through the sea, see pretty places, but I don't want a harpoon shoved through the back of my spine, so I don't know.
Oh my god, I don't know. I don't know what I would be. There's too many animals I like.
Anything, just basically it would be small, round,
And cute.
fluffy and cute.
Yes.
And it has to be excitable.
Yes.
4658, hi there Spicy Marino, I'll give you the opportunity. Would you like to ride, review a bike and sidecar outfit? If so, would you go the modern, i.e. Goldwing Tourer type, or classic, i.e. Panther M100, etc.? I don't know much about sidecars. If I had the opportunity to ride a sidecar with Reno, I would, but I'd want to ride that bike a little bit on my own first to get used to the handling before I went into that, taking Reno's life with it as well. Jesus,
oh my God.
Risking, taking her with me. Again, it would need to be through some sort of dealership, so I don't have to worry about pranging the thing because I'm not used to things that wide. Though I have ridden the GS. Okay, so because I was so late on this, I put a post up yesterday and said, if you've got any more you want to add them on and we'll put them on now. Nathan Daniels, what are your opinions on Supermoto style 50cc bikes? Personally, I think it would be better to go for a 125 always. If you're going to go for a 50cc, a geared 50cc is better than a scooter, generally for learning to ride. But just riding around town, a 50cc's ped's fine. If you need to go on faster roads, it's not so safe. So generally I'd say get a 125, but if you are going to get a 50 to learn on, to go bigger in the future, a geared Supermoto would be, in the 50cc, would be a better one than a scooter to progress your learning curve. I think it makes sense. Daniel Boddington, hey Spicy and Reno, hope you're all good. Okay, got a nice question for you. Which first bike would you have if you could complete a DAS course? Oh, okay, so say you were getting would you go for the LXR 380, MT-03 or a Duke 390?
Oh, no, I'd probably go for the LXR because I think I've sat on the Duke, because doesn't Renner have that bike?
Yes.
And I sat on it, but I didn't like it. It was too aggressive for me. But then I don't know.
The MT probably.
I don't like the MT because it was too thin. So that's the only one left for me.
For me, I would probably choose if it was money no option, like which is the better bike, then probably the 390 or the Yamaha. But the Yamaha's quite expensive. You can get good deals on the KTM. The LXR is a good bike, but it is a cheaper bike. And as I've mentioned, there's some things about that engine that are a little bit agricultural and they're just not quite there. But it's the first 380cc or bigger cc bike, sports bike they brought out. And as a first mark, it's bloody fantastic and it's at a good price. But as I said through my reviews, I'm not going to say it's better than like stuff that costs $5,000 because that's ridiculous. And if you expect to buy a bike for $3,000 that's better than a $5,000 bike, well, you're going to be disappointed quite quickly. I know you weren't saying that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Moto Dragon, what's your plans for the channel after lockdown is fully over? Have you any bikes lined up for review? Also, loving the restoration series. Proper good build. Hopefully soon, Like in the next month, I want to have the bike back together, and at that point, I'm going to be back to doing vlogs, back to going to take bikes out from like Destination Triumph. Hopefully they'll be up and running properly by then. Everything seems to be just kind of getting up and going, but I think everyone's kind of like waiting for that second spike to happen, and if it is or isn't.
Yeah.
I think if it doesn't happen, 4 weeks' time, everything's going to be pretty much back to normal, and yeah, it'll be back to what I was doing before. Though, as I say, I will miss doing mechanically videos, and there's a few things to do on DIVI, so maybe we will get to doing that. We will see. Mark Lally, hey Spicy and Reno, hope you two are well. What are your thoughts and opinions on listening to music while riding? We both do it.
Yeah.
We both love it.
I love it.
Don't have it absolutely loud.
Yeah.
You can't hear what's going on around you, but then at the same time, can you really hear that much that's going on around you? It depends on your bike. My bikes are so loud that it's like, eh. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I find it makes it more fun.
But if you're in really busy, heavy, nasty traffic and you really do need to pay attention to what you're doing,
Yeah.
I would say turn it off.
Yeah.
I use it when I'm going for a
have
more
it live.
chilled, like...
Yeah, chill,
nice,
fun rides,
yeah.
definitely.
But don't get lulled into like, la la la, la la la, tractor poof, dead.
Yeah.
Matthew Varco, hi Spicy and Reno, I hope you are both okay. If you could change 3 things about your bikes or the biking community, what would you change? 3 things about the biking community. People accepting other people's opinions. There is more than one way to skin a cat. Which basically means that, like with the build series,
Yeah.
the Restoration Z build series, if you actually read the comments on YouTube, because, I mean, I'm not doing it so much, it's just I've not asked for an opinion. I'm not really doing it as an how-to, it's just this is how I'm doing it. And
Yeah.
I'm just being corrected by people constantly, but I've noticed, I mean, constructive criticism, if I'm asking a direct question, I'm asking for information, but so often, I ask a question about something specific because it's quite technical, no one answers the question. And then they'll just stand there, well, I wouldn't have done it like that. Only me! You don't want to do it like that. Well, don't you do it like that.
And if you're in group rides, don't be that person that rides like an absolute idiot and then endangers everyone. And
Well, I don't know, it endangers everyone.
It gets you more likely to get pulled over by the police.
It's just understand that when you're in a group of more than 2 people or 3 people, you can't really ride like you're riding with 2 people. You can go faster because you're a small little unit. When you're a big group of people, having one person showing off causes problems and gets the police called on you. I know this from personal experience. But I don't know, they said they were going to call the police. They never turned up, but then we left. This is during
that with us?
No, that was one of the
I was
first.
going to say, I don't remember that.
No, I've had the police speak to me twice while I've been with you.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Both times they were like, it's alright, just don't be an knob.
Yeah, it wasn't anything serious.
That was me backing into a corner.
Yeah, I think I still have
And
my
the other one was
time.
nearly scraping my foot peg going round a roundabout in Portsmouth. But it was empty.
There was literally no one there.
And he just pulled up. Oi, what are you
doing? You were like,
Sorry, mate. Just went, sorry, mate. You will be. Alright.
Alright, no to be rude.
Yeah, and then he sort of went, oh, I bet. James the Naked Snake, hey Spicy and Reno. I'm assuming you're reading the questions this month, Reno. Yes. Hope you're all keeping well. Is there any reason that you haven't recorded much with other motor vloggers in the past few years, i.e. Landshot Rides, the Mr. Flyer, Barrel from Grumble, etc.? I assume it's all scheduling, but I'm interested to know if there are any other reasons, difficulties. Well, obviously there aren't things, I can't talk about everything, because there's like, personal stuff. Landshot just never get round to meeting up with him because I'm always doing my own stuff. I keep meaning to meet up with all the guys to go green laning, and it was just one thing after another, and now I'm doing the bike.
Like
And now they're all
something.
going, and already, because now it's back to summer and I'm fixing the bike. I don't really force doing videos with
Collabs
people,
and things.
collabs and stuff, unless it's completely natural.
Yeah, like if you're personally friends with them.
Like
you
me and
know
Lamb Chop, I consider him to be a personal mate. I've ridden with him for years. I talk to him quite regularly through one of the groups that we talk through. It's not me excluding anyone for any other reason. However, you will notice in some countries that only certain people will work with other people because of what they can do for each other, and then that's what I've never wanted to get into. That whole I'll meet up with you, but it's better for me because you've got more subscribers, or they all got less subscribers, or it ruins a normal human relationship. Which is why I think, like, with me and Jake, we're really good mates, and we did do the dual vlogs together, the first ever dual vlogs internationally as well. We've never really felt a need to make to force videos to be made together, even though we're apart, just because we're mates and we just talk about normal stuff.
And I think that's probably why we don't make so many. We don't force ourselves to make videos if we're going out to do something fun.
I know
if we want to film it, we'll film it.
Yeah, I know people like clowns, but it's nothing. There's no hatred or anything added at anyone.
Yeah.
And of course, people get really busy. You know, things like for different people have gone different ways. So maybe at a time it was convenient to meet up a few times, but later on it's not so convenient. So, I just shy. Sorry if I got it wrong. What's your favourite chili? What is the hottest thing you've ever eaten? Favourite chili would be pickled jalapenos. Should I call them jalapenos? You want some jalapenos? I said jalapeno.
Oh,
but I know people call them, like, I used to have to work with people who would say
I did as well, yeah.
Pavlova instead of pavlova. Jalapenos. Was it ciabatta rather than ciabatta? They called ciabattas. They call them ciabattas because it starts with the C. They basically refuse to say anything in anything other than in English. Well, it's got to be English, isn't it? So it's what's that? Ciabatta, pavlova. Last one from Mephisto with the full title. The Lambretta guys are back on the island. Mephisto, with the full rebuild of the DRZ, are we going to see more greening videos? Yes. Equally, and I know people have said this, like, well, when you do that, you're not going to want to green lane so much, are you? And I'm like, no, that's true. It's a fair point. And you're like, well, maybe you shouldn't do that. Well, maybe that might incite me into getting some small 125 of some sort that I might do up and, you know, stick some insurance on and use just to go green laning. Because then it wouldn't matter what I do to it and I can drop it and destroy it. Like the old plan I had many years ago was to buy a 125cc ped that was absolutely hanging and basically ride it till it fell apart and like do the most horrible things with it.
Oh my god.
But then I got into riding Lex Motos and I just do that with them instead. Anyway, huge thanks to my Patreon supporters. I hope this isn't too long. We tried to keep it shorter. I know we're coming up to 40 minutes raw. Hopefully it'll be shorter than that when it gets edited. Thank you for watching. If you want to join Patreon, please do. If you want to get a question answered, please join Patreon. Thank you for the support.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Are we done?
Yes.
Yay! Cut!
It looks weird, doesn't it? Oh my god. Help me.
If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to see future videos. This channel is made possible by the support of the audience. Please consider joining my Patreon to get early access to videos, questions answered in the monthly Q&A, your name on screen, and some exclusive content, all for as little as $1 a month. You can also check out the links in the description to my merch and other ways to directly support the channel. Thanks for watching.